ABI
Okay,
framework.
got it, got it, got it.
So
Excellent. Yeah, we can jump into some of the examples, I believe.
yes. So let's basically take example of this instruction count pin tool,
Hmm.
and we can actually get this example from a manual tools here. Let's just put a make and then compile all these examples.
Okay, so everything will be
So,
compiled all together.
yes, the tools, all tools in this directory will be compiled.
Okay.
Before that, let's see the instruction count source code. Okay, there are like three different versions of instruction count.
Hmm.
Okay, so in order to write the pin application, you need to include this pin.h header file
Okay.
and whatever C++ require headers per your requirement. And
Okay.
then strictly you can code as some a typical C++ application.
Okay.
So let's go to the main and then we'll see the first call you need to do is pin init, wherein you actually initialize your pin tool, let's say environment or runtime.
Okay. So basically, Chris, we'll be launching some application
Uh-huh.
where we want to measure the, measure the instruction count, right? Through this tool. Is that how
Yes,
it is? Okay.
yes, exactly.
Okay. Great. Okay. So pin init.
Exact. So pin init will initialize your pin framework or pin runtime. Uh, OAuth file is basically the log file. Now, the main thing here, why we need to put our output into the external file, because if your application is console application, then you can get standard error or outstream inherited. But if the GUI app, if you are instrumenting, let's say GUI application,
Hmm.
then you won't have those streams available. So whatever you put will not be shown to you. So that's why we need an let's say a separate file to put our output into.
Okay.
So I've
It is
initialized
basically logs, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So in basically it just that need to actually put everything into a log file. You just
Okay.
can't print it standard output or error
Output
stream.
command prompt. Okay. Got it.
Then this is actually the core function, ins underscore add instrumentation function. Now, if you carefully observe, the pin API is basically prefixed with some constant like this ins or this pin.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I see ins underscore, then this API is directly related to instrumenting an instruction or playing with, let's say, one instruction. So
Okay.
here I'm telling pin to allow me to instrument each and every instruction that is going to be executed,
Got it.
right?
Got it. Got it.
And the parameter it takes is a function, a callback function, which pin will call every time it says or it is going to execute a new instruction.
Oh,
Like
awesome. So it is going to call for each and every instruction, Chris. So it is going to be
instruction.
very slow, right? The code that you're going to show us.
Yes. So that's why it's like, very primitive example.
Okay.
The later version of INS count you'll improve upon this performance.
Okay, got it,
So
got it.
here, just to take care of, to understand some basic syntaxes around how you can utilize particular APIs.
Got it,
So
got it.
basically, every instrument function, right? Add instrument function takes a
Mm-hmm.
callback to a function where pin is going to pass or call your function for every, let's say, instruction or basic block or let's say modules and everything.
Okay,
So we'll see a different type of APIs which are provided for this particular
great, great, sure.
process. So in this callback, you can actually basically you can decide here whether which instruction you want to, do instrument for,
Okay,
instrumenting for. So here you can see that I have additional call ins underscore insert call. That is particularly I'm telling pin to add, uh, let's see, one more callback
mm-hmm.
to the particular instruction, and I'm telling where to add it. So I point before, which means uh, put the call to do count, the actual analysis function. This what I've seen is instrumentation function, right? And this is like analysis function.
Okay.
So for
There
every
you can
instruction,
analyze
yeah.
these
So here
instructions.
you can do whatever you want to do with that particular instruction.
Okay, got it, got it, got it. So INS insert call is going to, you are going to pass the instruction to this do count function, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm telling right now pin to call my do count function on every instruction basically.
okay,
So
got it.
before others, there are different constants where you can tell pin to either put your callback before executing the instruction or after execution, after executing that instruction.
Awesome, awesome. So that, I mean, I believe these are the functionalities that can be utilized to measure code coverage, right? While doing fuzzing and all,
Yeah. So
kind of.
basically, based
Okay.
on the similar, we have more other functions where you can actually get callbacks on every basic block discovered or every trace that we discover.
Mhm.
So we'll see that in action
Sure, sure.
after this example.
Okay, absolutely.
And this particular knock function is like passing command line parameters to your ping tool.
Okay.
So right now, this thing only accepts single command line argument, which is the output file name, the
Mhm.
log file name.
So it is going to pass this command line argument to the application you are measuring code coverage on?
No, this command line arguments for this particular pin tool, so
Pin
that you
tool.
can,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
based
Okay.
on,
Once you run it, I'll be able to understand, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. So let's see.
It is
Okay, now this is
successful.
successfully built. Okay, in order to run it, you need to know where your framework path is. So I'm like in manual example right now, so I'm just going to refer it. So this is actually your launcher, the pin or pin.exe on Windows.
Okay. So this actually pre-compiled binary that gets shipped with
This
pin.
is the compiled binary which comes with your framework.
Okay.
And this is needed in order to run your pin tools.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
with this pin, and then is the tool path is object minus count 0 dot so. This is your instruction count, what example we have just seen.
That you have built, right?
Yes. And here you pass the command line parameter O with the log file. Let's say ins count log txt. Okay.
Okay.
And then you have to separate the application with double dash. And now you have to give the application path. Let's Guand instrument bin ls, and then you can pass the application command line afterwards, like let's say lt or something,
Okay.
and then just
So
run
we are
it.
basically instrumenting that LS.
Ls finally,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And you
The
see,
LS also executed, and I think we should see
and
some logs as well.
we should have, yes, we should have our log file here, which is ls count log, and you can see the total instruction which have been executed as the entire count has been printed.
13,41,884. Great. Got it.
So basically, this is like a very basic example on how you add instrument and analysis callbacks, how
Mm-hmm.
you decide where to put. Now, basically here you can actually, try to analyze and add instrumentation for very specific instructions also.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's say you want to add instrumentation for only call instruction. So you want to measure, like say,
So,
let's say how many calls.
okay, so do you have to, add that check with that opcode? For example, if you have to modify this code in that do count function, right? Or for example, if you want to, track all the unconditional jump JMPs. So, how you have
Okay.
to, yeah.
So basically, there are some other utility functions which are, the thing is, this call you will get when this instrumentation call you will get only when JIT is trying to translate your input code to the cache, right?
Got it. Okay.
Okay, let me rephrase it. So basically, this function is getting called whenever the input binary is getting translated into the intermediate cache. Cache we have seen, the code cache.
Okay. Okay.
And there you get there you'll get an opportunity to inspect like interesting points wherein
The
you want to.
got it. The machine code will be able to analyze. I mean, whatever is placed into that cache, right? The instruction code, I mean.
No. So right now there are like two different callbacks we have just added, right? One is from here we have told that I want to have instrumentation function for instructions
Okay. Yeah.
with INS add instrumentation
Got it.
function.
Okay.
So pin will call this function in instruction function on every instruction that it is going to translate into the cache. That we are not running it right now.
Okay. 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 Got it. Got it.
This function is called between the translation period. So translation time, let's say, so that you'll get idea and decision where to put the final analysis callbacks into.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
So right now we are instrumenting each and every instruction here, but you can actually decide on your specific criteria. Let's say you want to only analyze the calls which are being invoked throughout the application. So you'll
Okay.
see, okay, I just want to add a callback routine before every call instruction.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll inspect here the instruction, this INS variable, and see if it is actually call instruction. Then only you can insert a call to.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. So IN is basically is it something like that machine instruction code, Krish? For example.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, uh, for instruction routine here, you'll get a single instruction. Let's say we call it a data structure right now. There are various APIs which you can invoke on this variable. So let's go here. Let's go to the manual.
Okay.
So here you see the INS
Oh.
instruction is within a routine. So basically, see, like this INS is cache line flush or is added for functional replacement. So similar functions will be available for you, which operates on that INS variable or INS data structure.
Got it.
We'll see